The Defenestration of Prague on May 23, 1618, stands as one of the most dramatic events in European history, igniting the flames of the 30 Years' War. At its core, the incident was born from deep-seated religious and political tensions in Bohemia, a region that had long struggled between Protestant and Catholic influences. The act of throwing Catholic officials out of a window at Prague Castle was not merely an impulsive gesture of rebellion, but a calculated political statement with far-reaching consequences. In the early 17th century, Bohemia was a region marked by religious diversity and political volatility. The Peace of Augsburg in 1555 had attempted to settle religious disputes within the Holy Roman Empire by allowing rulers to determine the religion of their territories. However, it excluded Calvinists, contributing to ongoing unrest. In Bohemia, the situation was further complicated by the Letter of Majesty, issued by Emperor Rudolf II in 1609, which granted Bohemian Protestants religious freedoms, including the right to build churches on royal lands. However, this fragile balance was disrupted when Ferdinand II, a devout Catholic and ardent supporter of the Counter-Reformation, was crowned King of Bohemia in 1617. Determined to restore Catholic dominance, Ferdinand endorsed the closure of 2 Protestant chapels in Brumov and Trob. These actions were carried out by Catholic officials William Slavata and Jaroslav Martinic, who argued that the chapels were illegally built on ecclesiastical lands. The Protestant nobles viewed this as a direct violation of the Letter of Majesty, perceiving it as an attack on their religious liberties and political autonomy. The closure of the chapels not only fueled religious grievances, but also deepened political divisions. The Bohemian nobles feared that Ferdinand's rise to power would lead to increased Habsburg absolutism, stripping them of their historical privileges. These anxieties were heightened by Ferdinand's clear intentions to centralize power and impose Catholicism throughout his realm. Consequently, the Protestant nobles were pushed to the edge, setting the stage for a dramatic confrontation. The Defenestration of Prague was orchestrated by key political figures who played decisive roles in the unfolding events. Count Jindřich Thurn, a prominent Protestant noble and military leader, emerged as the leader of the Protestant opposition. Known for his persuasive oratory and strategic acumen, Thurn became the voice of the discontented Bohemian estates, rallying support against the Catholic administration. He was deeply committed to protecting Protestant rights and maintaining the political autonomy of Bohemia against Habsburg centralization. On the opposing side were William Slavata and Jaroslav Martinic, the 2 Catholic officials whose actions directly precipitated the crisis. As staunch supporters of Ferdinand's counter-Reformation policies, they were instrumental in enforcing Catholic orthodoxy, including the controversial closure of the Protestant chapels. Their unwavering loyalty to Ferdinand and their role in suppressing Protestant rights made them symbols of Habsburg oppression in the eyes of the Bohemian nobles. The confrontation between these figures was not merely a clash of personalities, but a collision of ideological convictions and political ambitions. The Protestant nobles, under Thurn's leadership, saw resistance as both a religious duty and a political necessity, while Slavata and Martinic remained resolute in their commitment to Catholic restoration and imperial authority. This ideological divide set the stage for a dramatic and violent confrontation. The tension reached its peak on May 23, 1618, when a group of Protestant nobles, led by Count Jindřich Thurn, marched to Prague Castle. Their objective was clear: to confront the royal governors, William Slavata and Jaroslav Martinic, and hold them accountable for violating the Letter of Majesty. In the assembly room of the Bohemian Chancellery, the Protestant nobles accused the Catholic officials of treason and betrayal. Amidst heated arguments, the situation escalated rapidly. The Protestant nobles, fueled by anger and a sense of righteousness, seized Slavata and Martinic. In an act of defiance that echoed the earlier First Defenestration of Prague, in 1419 they threw the 2 Catholic officials, along with their secretary Philip Fabricius, out of a 3rd-story window. Miraculously, all 3 survived the 70-foot fall, landing in a moat filled with refuse. Catholic supporters attributed their survival to divine intervention, while Protestant accounts pragmatically credited the soft landing. The Defenestration of Prague was a bold and symbolic act of rebellion. It was not merely a display of violence, but a calculated political statement challenging Habsburg authority. The event marked the formal rejection of Ferdinand II's rule in Bohemia and was the spark that ignited the Bohemian Revolt, the first phase of the 30 Years' War. The immediate aftermath of the defenestration was one of shock and rapid political mobilization. The Protestant nobles quickly established a provisional government, declaring Ferdinand II deposed as King of Bohemia. In his place, they elected Frederick Faust of the Palatinate, a Calvinist known as the Winter King, due to his short-lived reign. This act of rebellion marked the beginning of the Bohemian Revolt, an open challenge to Habsburg authority. The revolt soon escalated beyond Bohemia, drawing in other Protestant states within the Holy Roman Empire. Fearing the spread of Protestantism and rebellion, Ferdinand II sought support from Catholic allies, including Spain and the Catholic League. The conflict quickly transformed from a local rebellion into a pan-European war as Protestant and Catholic factions aligned with foreign powers. The survival of Slavata, Martinic and Fabricius was interpreted differently by the opposing sides. Catholics viewed their escape as a miraculous sign of divine favor, bolstering their resolve against the Protestant heretics. In contrast, Protestants saw it as a fortunate accident, focusing instead on the political implications of their bold act of defiance. The Defenestration of Prague was not just an isolated incident, but a catalyst for one of the most destructive conflicts in European history, the 30 Years' War, 1618 to 1648. What began as a local rebellion over religious freedoms and political autonomy rapidly escalated into a continental war involving most of Europe's great powers. It evolved from a religious war between Protestants and Catholics into a complex political struggle for power and territory. The conflict devastated Central Europe, leading to widespread famine, disease, and population decline. It also reshaped the political landscape of Europe, leading to the decline of the Holy Roman Empire and the rise of state sovereignty, formalized in the Peace of Westphalia in 1648. This treaty established the principles of religious tolerance and the balance of power, laying the foundation for modern international relations. The Defenestration of Prague thus holds immense historical significance. It symbolizes the clash between religious freedom and authoritarian rule, highlighting the fragility of political compromise in the face of ideological extremism. The event not only marked the beginning of the Bohemian Revolt, but also ignited a war that would shape the future of Europe for centuries. The Defenestration of Prague remains a powerful symbol of defiance against tyranny and religious oppression. It illustrates how a single act of rebellion can trigger a chain of events with monumental consequences. The incident was not merely about throwing officials out of a window, but about challenging political authority and asserting religious and political rights. By examining the background, key figures, event aftermath, and significance, it becomes clear that the Defenestration of Prague was far more than a dramatic episode of political intrigue. It was the spark that ignited the 30 Years' War, a conflict that reshaped Europe and influenced the development of modern nation-states. The legacy of the Defenestration of Prague endures as a testament to the power of political resistance and the far-reaching impact of historical events.